Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, powers that be.
Grover, coming from our home due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
I own rental property in Canandaigua, New York.
I'm a housing provider in Rochester, New York.
From Rochester, New York.
I am an investor here in Rochester, New York, and sadly, I'm gonna probably say that I don't know how much longer that will remain true.
I am a real estate investor in Rochester, New York. Currently own 4 properties in Rochester, in the surrounding counties and area.
I have 6 units that I've had for about 15 or 17 years, and it was about 20 years ago that part of my plan for retirement included rental property.
Did you know that Rochester, New York has the highest poverty rate in the state? Our rents reflect our challenges here. We are not wealthy people. I am a 66-year-old widow on Social Security.
I'm a housing provider in the upstate New York area, Rochester, New York, and I have been a proud housing provider to the poorest of our citizens in this community for the last 20 years or so.
We live in Rochester, New York, and we own and manage 75 units, from single-family homes to 5-family houses.
We own 78 units in the Finger Lakes, upstate New York region.
Most of our units were run down when we bought them. Many were foreclosed properties. Many were severely damaged. We painstakingly brought each of those homes back into service at huge expense over a long period of time. Had we not done so, many would have been demolished as uninhabitable.
And we do not believe that the rent bill that is up for passing within a week or so is appropriate to be passed.
I am extremely concerned about the passage of S8125 and the devastating financial impact it will have on me, my wife, and my family.
That would have a devastating impact on our business. Right now, our work volume is low. People are working from home. We have maintained everyone's pay uninterrupted. But in order to do things like that, we need to be able to bring in revenue.
If we cannot receive rent for these properties, we will stop renting any property that is empty and any property that becomes empty. To do otherwise would be senseless. This will reduce the stock of available housing, which runs contrary to our stated housing policy goal in New York.
If you really sit down and think what it takes to manage 78 units, we're providing for 78 times an average of 3 people per those units. We're managing hundreds of people's homes. We love doing that. That's where our heart's at. We've been in real estate for 16 years now, so it's just a natural fit for us. Please don't abuse the situation right now. Please understand that all landlords need your rent in order to provide what they provide for you on a monthly basis.
If the rent strike were to be implemented, it would have unsustainable consequences for a business such as ours.
A partial mortgage moratorium is not enough. There's no moratorium on all our other expenses.
It's important to understand that in our portfolio, operating costs total $600 per unit per month. This is before debt service and includes things such as payroll, maintenance, taxes, insurance. Debt service in our portfolio totals another $500 per unit per month on average. Therefore, our break-even rental rate is $1,100, whereby each monthly rent strike would cost us $1,100 per unit, or $11,000 for every 10 units that receive a waiver.
The temporary mortgage relief proposed helps only a bit and doesn't cover private and hard money lenders. We also have major costs like repairs, maintenance, cleaning, property, school taxes, and funds needed for everyday business. I live in Dutchess County with my wife and 3 kids, and I own a few small properties in Western New York, which is my entire life savings.
If this were to occur, we would reduce our team to an absolute skeleton staff, whereby 22 people would have to be laid off. Residents would see an overwhelming reduction in service and maintenance at each property as well. Undoubtedly, we would have to exit the business entirely.
I'm holding here in my hand the real estate property tax bills that we paid back in January for 2 buildings that our family has owned on the Upper West Side of Manhattan for 3 generations. I can't imagine how we'd be able to come up with the money needed to make that July 1 real estate tax payment if we collect no rent for the next 90 days.
How am I supposed to pay my property taxes?
I work incredibly hard to service those who need us the most, and potentially lose 6 to 7 months after this fallout takes place would be unfathomable.
We love all of our tenants and we love this business, and we're committed to working with each and every one of them should they have any problems paying rent due to this COVID-19 pandemic.
This pandemic will end fairly quickly, but the damage done by a rent moratorium will cause long-lasting problems from which we may never recover.
What hurts me the most is not having the ability to help the people that I'm able to reach on a daily basis. Last week I was able to buy a woman's home who would have lost her home, so we were able to give her cash. A couple weeks before that, I was able to buy a duplex from a woman who was literally losing her mind. And I'm able to take these people out of positions that are very stressful for them, bankruptcy, deaths, things like that. And I hold their hands through the process from start to finish. And that's an impact that I can make on the community.
The very fabric of the neighborhoods will suffer, turning the hard work and careful management, which provided decent places for tenants to live, built up over many years, into just another neighborhood in decline.
So please understand that if the tenants stop paying rents for any length of time, I will lose the property. That will devastate us.
Getting rents on time is very critical for our business and our family of 5. Our livelihoods depend on it. We care about where our tenants live. We care about their living conditions. For us to keep going, it's crucial that they make timely payments, and we have a lot of obligations with those payments.
Not only would we not be able to get rents to pay our bills, we potentially would have to lay employees off because we would not be getting in income to pay them.
I have one full-time employee that works 40 hours per week for my business. If I don't receive rents for 1 or more months, my business will be affected in the following ways. I will not be able to pay my employee, and I may have to lay her off. I will not be able to pay the mortgages on my properties, and the retirees that hold those mortgages will lose their income. I will not be able to pay the property taxes that are due in May and June of this year. I will not be able to pay the utilities, heat, electricity, and water and sewer. I will not be able to do the needed repairs that are required to be done this year.
And we have mortgages to pay, we have property taxes to pay, insurance to pay, maintenance to pay, contractors to do some improvements and long-term capital maintenance and things of that nature.
We deserve and we need that rental income.
In conclusion, just a message to our government and our legislatures.
To use your power to make it fair for both tenants and landlords alike. We need you now. It's very important that you get involved in this process.
I urge you to enact legislation that benefits everyone.
I ask that this bill not be passed at all, as it would devastate me financially and would devastate others in our area financially.
Because of the generous stimulus package from the federal government, there's no need for further legislation for rent forgiveness or an organized rent strike.
A federal stimulus package has already addressed rent issues. Bill S8125 will hurt the very people it is intended to protect, the tenants and those that provide the most essential need in our community, housing.
So I would really, ask to reconsider this because it would be devastating to our business and our employees, and in the end to our residents. So please reconsider.
So would strongly in favor of not passing this bill and being able to collect rent so we can provide the good service to our tenants.
In any case, thanks for listening to me. Thanks for giving someone like myself a voice, because I do want to maintain my business. And the truth is, if I do go out of business, I will be leaving New York State and trying to pick up somewhere else. So, Under One Roof, thanks for the impact that you're making. Thanks for taking charge on this.
God bless, and we hope you make the right decisions.
Thanks for your consideration.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please don't let us down.
Take care, guys.